Okay, here we go. This is lesson 3 of how to draw a Shelby Daytona Coupe. And what you can see, we did some more on the front end, and now working back toward the driver's door. There's quite a bit of detail in here because of the nose that tilts forward, that vent that I'm working on the side there, and the locking mechanism for the hood too. Of course, this is a real race car. I mean, it was designed to be a real race car. This is a street version of it, but it was designed to be a real race car. So the whole nose of the car tips forward for easy access to the engine, which is really handy for any kind of servicing. It's really, really terrific. But that means it's one huge piece of, in this case, fiberglass. And there's quite a bit to do. There's no split, and of course there's no hood only that goes up. It's the whole front end. So it makes a car a little bit easier to draw in some senses because you don't have the seams along the top between the lights and the hood. And so it's a little different than most street cars anyway. And I'm not doing the lower rocker panel yet. That's where the two mufflers are, and I want to make sure I really do those right because in this photograph they're both chromed, and I want to be able to use them to pick up some reflections and such. So I'm kind of reserving the lower rocker panel for a little bit later on. And this is just what I do here. This is like putting on primer. Instead of going ahead and doing a real hard first coat that's really dark, I put in a light one, and then I come back again and put another one over it, or maybe even 2 or 3 more, and that gives me a more uniform color. I didn't do that on the front right underneath the left headlight. I only did that one coat so far, so I'm going to go back on that and do another coat over it so you can't see that there is a pattern to the way I put that on. Usually what I do is I make a vertical or horizontal pattern, and it's a series of dots. It's not lines, but they're lines made out of dots. So I try to go another way on it afterward. And when I do that, then it gives me a very uniform finish, and it looks like a like a paint job more or less. Of course, it's still kind of grainy, but what I mean is at least it's a more uniform color value than it would be if I just went ahead and tried to do it first time around. It takes a little bit more time, but to me it's worth it because I can get a lot more subtle by doing it this way than I can in any other way that I've found yet to do it. And I really, really enjoy doing this too. The fact that ink lasts forever is kind of a comfort to me. I want this to be able to last a couple 100 years, which would be kind of fun to think that maybe somebody will be looking at one of these in the year 22 or 2300 would be kind of fun to think of. I won't care about it, but just the same, it would be kind of cool. Okay, getting down toward the lower part of the panel we are going to work on. This is the hood, of course, still. And there's the locking mechanism over to the side of that vent. And I'm marking that out now. I'm going to leave it reserved a little bit so that I'll be able to come back to it and make it look like it's not an afterthought that I forgot to draw it in, but rather it is really something that's there. Okay, just about out of time for today, it looks like. But we got a lot of coverage done today. Very likely we'll get back to maybe not the whole rear fender, but we'll at least get back to the rear wheel and probably start a little bit on the lower rocker panel and then mark out the mufflers like I said. And I want to be able to show some reflections off the ground or something else on them, and that will give us a little bit more impact to the drawing too. Here I am going back on that other part to put the second coat on. And you can see how it makes it much more even when I do that. Okay, getting short now. I hope to see you back here tomorrow. We're going to do quite a bit more on the side and start to look like a car. Thank you very much. See you tomorrow. Bye.